Victoria from Biblio Lifestyle, and you're listening to the Reader's Couch podcast, the show that will help you bridge the gap between living a full and busy life to one where you're reading, learning new things, and having fun. In today's episode, I'm having a chat with my friends Laura from the What to Read Next podcast and Francesca from the Under the Covers book blog. So, fun fact, I chat with these two gals every day. We co-work Monday to Friday, although to be fair, we're enjoying a bit of a summer Friday work calendar this year. So we went from online acquaintances to co-workers to friends and now live show host. So I'm excited for you to get to know us together as a trio. I mean, we talk about our lives, and here's a fun fact. We all live in the state of Florida, even though we live in different towns, but we are all transplants basically, and we've lived in different places. So we talk a bit about our travel, we talk about our lives, we talk about TV, film, reality TV, because I'm very into that too. Of course, we chat our relationship with books and more. But again, don't forget to stay tuned to the end for our special live show announcement. And I hope you'll join us every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for our fun show, Novel Nights. I really hope to see you there. So subscribe to the Biblio Lifestyle YouTube channel. It's pretty new, so I'd appreciate the support. And don't forget to subscribe to Laura's and Francesca's YouTube channel as well. Alrighty, friends, now onto the episode. Hi everyone, I'm Victoria from Biblio Lifestyle.
I'm Laura from What to Read Next podcast.
And I'm Francesca from Under the Covers book blog.
We are three friends who met online, and I can say we've met in person too. And it's just been a grand time getting to know all these gals. And I have to say, we have one thing in common. Fun fact, we all live in Florida, though we live in different cities. We're on different coasts. How long have you guys been in Florida? So far, I'm in my 7th year, going into my 8th. How long have you been here, Francesca?
So I did Florida twice. I came in the year 2001, and then I moved to New York in 2008. So I did 7 years that time. And I was on the East Coast mostly and a little bit on the West Coast. But now this time I came back in 2020. So it's 4 years now.
What about you, Laura?
So I moved in 2021 to September 2021 to Tampa. I had lived in New York long term. I knew Francesca. We both lived in New York at around the same time. And then I moved in 2020 to Chicago, and things happened, tax reasons happened, and they were like, can you move to Florida? And I was like, sure, I'll move to Florida. And so I've been here for 3 years.
Wow, awesome. So my last port of call was actually, I was in London before I moved to Florida. So that was the last one. Before that, I was in Italy with my husband. He was working there. Before that, I was in Australia for some time, back in London. I was in Jamaica. I was in South Africa. So yeah, I've been moving quite a bit, but it's fair to say I think Florida is going to be home. So on the note of traveling and the fact that we've lived in different places, which is also something we have in common, what are your top 3 travel destinations? What are those places on the bucket list? Laura, where are you hoping to visit soon?
So I'm hoping to visit Barcelona and Madrid. I'm hoping to go to Spain. I've been to Lisbon. It's like one of my favorite cities. So I want to do like one of those trips to go a couple weeks and just travel around that Iberian coast. But I love Aruba. I've been there a couple times. It's one of my favorite Caribbean islands. It's just fun to just go.
What about you, Francesca? Where do you want to go?
So I want to go to India. My mom lives or was living half a year in India. So I definitely want to go when I can spend at least a couple of months, because I want to do a lot of traveling, all the non-touristy things, because obviously she knows plenty of locals. So I think I'm going to get a nice, good experience. So that's been on my huge bucket list. And also Thailand. So again, I feel like that's East is where I want to go. I've done plenty of Europe travel, but yeah, I would say probably more of the East is where I want to explore more. And Australia. That has been on my bucket list for a while.
I love Australia. My husband hasn't been, so I want to carry him, but that wouldn't be
Mhm.
like a bucket list destination for me.
Yeah.
I've never been to New Zealand though, which is nearby.
Mhm.
So the hope is, okay, maybe, the stars can align and we have this 1 month off from work, hopefully. Would love to take him there so he can see it, but I would love to go to New Zealand. I've never been there. I'd love to go to Japan. Japan is
Yeah.
big on my list, although I just read an article saying that so many tourists are flocking to Japan. They had 3 million tourists in 1 month, which
Wow.
was insane. I was like, ooh, that's a lot of people. But we have something in common, Francesca. India. I would love to go to India. I'd also love to go to Sri Lanka. I think the East, I've been to some Eastern countries, but majority of it has eluded me. And I want to go to Hawaii. So my husband
Mm.
and I have never been to Hawaii. So he's never been, I've never been. I'm like, okay, great. This is like a nice middle ground of a
Yeah.
place that we both want to go and visit. Hopefully check out the fishing and the beaches. And it's really isolating. So I think we would like to venture out there. So we love travel. We've traveled a lot. We've lived in different places, but we're also readers, and reading also takes you on travel. Some books take you on more armchair travels than others. Tell me about the last book that you read that was set in a really cool destination. Tell me about it, Francesca.
So most recently, I would say was a destination wedding book, and it's Only for a Week by Natasha Bishop. And it's a travel destination to Tulum, Mexico. I wish they would have explored it just a little bit more, but it was a really fun book. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, that's fun. What about you, Laura? Any destination reading, armchair traveling happening?
So I am currently listening to The Pairing by Casey McQuiston, which is actually a Europe trip and going to different cities and eating all the foods and drinking all the wine and having the time of their life while having an anxiety will they, won't they, romance.
Oh, that's so fun. I just finished, because I was chatting with her for the podcast, Jessie Rosen. She wrote a book called The Heirloom. And it's about a woman who gets this vintage ring. Her family is superstitious, which I could relate to. And they have this rule: do not accept an engagement if you have a vintage ring or an heirloom from someone that you don't know, and you don't know like that family's history and karma. And the fiance proposes with a vintage ring he bought in a shop. So she goes traveling to discover who previously owned the ring, what was their relationship story like, and of course, hijinks ensues. So she leaves LA, she goes to New York, but then she also goes to Italy, which was really fun. So yeah, The Heirloom by Jessie Rose, and that was really cool. So what are some of your childhood favorite books? Because I think like some of those books that we read in our younger years really define us in a way. It sets the pace for our reading life. When I think of childhood favorites, I do think of The Secret Garden a lot. That was something that really captivated me. Yes, I know the book doesn't bode well. It didn't age well in some parts of it, but it was a huge part of my childhood. What was a book that stands out to you, Laura?
So I have to say, Sweet Valley High. It makes sense if you know me, you'll understand because I love romance, I love soapy dramas, I love like problematic books. There might be like bad writing, and so I love the series. I remember growing up and going every month to go pick up my new edition of The Wonderful Life of Jessica and Elizabeth's Adventures as they live in California and live the time of their lives. And I thought that was high school because it was very different from my experience in Puerto Rico.
No, that makes sense. I think high school for me would be Agatha Christie. I really went down a deep Agatha Christie rabbit hole when it comes to like authors that made me really love literature. I know this is going to sound just very traditional, but like Thomas Hardy did it for me. I was just obsessed with the man. And May Gray was another mystery author that captivated me. Francesca, what were some of those early books that you had?
I mean, for high school was also Agatha Christie for me, but I'm going to have the really eclectic taste here because when I was little, I was reading really crazy, like nonfiction, none of the stuff that we're talking about here. So I would say one that was really, it really made an impact was Only Love is Real by Brian Weiss. I had read a couple of Brian Weiss books before, and I mean, most his theme is reincarnation. And I had actually gone out. That was my first book that I went out. I bought on release day and I read it. Like I came home and I read the whole thing. And I was thinking about that recently because the theme of that book is romance in a way. Because basically it's him as a therapist and he realizes that two people that are his clients are kind of like telling him the same stories. And he realizes like they've been soulmates and he starts scheduling their appointments at the same time. So they run into each other in the waiting room. So I guess in a weird way that defines my romance reading through nonfiction when I was like 10. That and then a book by a Spanish author, it's actually a trilogy, is A mí el niño de las estrellas, and by Enrique Barrios. And that whole trilogy is basically kids' books. So there's this boy and there's an alien that comes and takes him on these adventures through different planets. So again, there goes my love for paranormal. So it all makes sense in a weird way.
I love that. It all makes sense. I wasn't that happy, romantic, feel-good kind of girl. I was just like very dark. So it was like the Jane Eyres, the Rebecca, the Gothic anything, Henry James, Turn of the Screw. I don't know. Yeah. I did not gravitate to feel-good books at all. I think probably till later in life. So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, technically that's not, most of my stuff was like nonfiction stories of corruption and whatever as a 10-year-old, you know, like even as an 8-year-old. So makes no sense.
I love this mix. We really bring an eclectic mix, the three of us together. So that's pretty cool. Books are great storytelling mediums, but also movies, TV, film, reality TV, pop culture. I mean, books are a part of pop culture, but I think there's great storytelling in movies too, and reality TV. I'm very reality TV obsessed. Okay, Real Housewives. I watch them all. I have to be honest, I did fall off the OC bandwagon for a bit, but I'm back. I just saw the trailer for the next season and I'm like, oh my God, this is so exciting. New Jersey is very dark right now, but Dubai is so light and funny. I loved how in the first episode they were, okay, wait for it. In the first episode, they were talking about the Beyonce concert that happened in Dubai, which was like this really super private affair. It's not like you could, you know, buy tickets. It wasn't on the open market. It was just like the who's who went to that concert for Beyonce. So just the fact that you're there, you're an it person. And these women are fighting over VIP and VVIP. So VIP was close to the stage, but VVIP was where the Kardashians, Beyonce's mom, you know, like the high profile people. So they are arguing over not only were they at the Beyonce concert, which again, if you're there, you're it. But they're talking about who was in the VVIP? Who was extra special? Who got invited? And yeah, I like petty stuff like that because I think reality TV is like cultural anthropology. Okay, you are really getting invested in women's lives and women's stories. And I know for some people it might not be their cup of tea, but I like that kind of storytelling. Is there anything like movies, film, pop culture, TV, book to screen adaptations that capture your attention, Laura?
I love frothy, flirty, fun shows. Like, so from that sense of like teenage shows, teenage soapy dramas, like Gossip Girl, OC, to Max and Hall, which is like my newest obsession, along with some Turkish Netflix shows like Thank You Next, and reality TV, Love Island. I watch both the UK and I do have a VPN, so I do pay for the ITV, and then the US version of Peacock, which you gotta love it. Ariana is just hosting it because her ex-boyfriend told her he would never have the patience to watch it. And I'm like, girl, she's now hosting it, so it gets better.
Actually, how do you feel about Ariana? I saw her picture. Like, she looks amazing. I mean, she's giving outfit, she's giving body. She looks good. I'm excited.
She looks good and she's doing a great job. Like, she's actually really involved with the season, which is a lot of times the host is kind of like on a side by, but she's invested. And I think sometimes it's nice to have a fan who's invested in this show and the show's success and like the drama and just being the girl's girl that she is in, and she's like going to support them, Because men are sometimes trash. Like just
all the time.
Not sometimes. Men are trash. Okay. I will die on that hill. Men are trash. And yes, I have a husband, but I still tell him men are trash. It is what it is. I also love scripted too, because I was really thinking when you said Gossip Girl, that brought me back. I loved Gossip Girl. I watched the reboot. I don't know where they are with that now. I also love this show called The Gilded Age. I am obsessed. The Gilded Age is on HBO. I think because I grew up with the English period dramas and all that stuff, like for me, I'm over it. I was really excited for an American period drama. We really get to see, the who's who of New York at that time, the Astor family and all the other people, the railroad people, JP Morgan people. It was just really fascinating. So I'm obsessed, and The Gilded Age is on HBO Max. Francesca, what are you into? Movies, film, reality TV, anything? What are you watching?
So my reality TV days kind of like dropped in the early 2000s. I used to watch a lot of it, and that's probably because I don't watch as much TV nowadays. So that maybe has something to do with it. But probably what I spend time watching is either some type of book to screen adaptation. Like I do watch Outlander, and I am following Bridgerton, obviously. Fun fact is that I really haven't read these things. So I am watching it, but I didn't read it, which is fine. No, I mean, I did read a couple of Bridgertons, but not the whole series.
The whole series.
And then other than that, I kind of like darker things. So either action series or movies, or a lot of mafia TV shows, serial killers. I was a big fan of You, that one I actually read, but I really enjoyed also the TV show and stuff. So yeah, probably a little bit darker on what I watch than what I read, although I do read also some dark stuff, but yeah.
Isn't that funny? So I read the darker stuff. Like I live in the pages of the darker stuff, but I will not watch it on my own. If my husband has something going on, occasionally we'll look up a horror or a mystery. And quite honestly, I find some of the documentaries on ID scary. I'll watch it with someone, but that is not a rabbit hole I'm going down by myself. So that is very interesting. And also, I know folks tend to compare like the book to screen adaptation thing. I used to do that. So let me say, I'm reformed now. I used to do that. I always say the book is better. But now I think I'm in a space where I'm recognizing they're two different storytelling mediums. So the book is giving us one story, and what's on screen is another story. So I'm not really measuring them the same and expecting the same results. Yeah. But anyway, so I want us to get into some rapid fire questions, right? A little bit on our reading preferences, a little on genre, and a little on self-care, because the thing is, I don't take myself too seriously, especially when it comes to books and even watching television. It's all fun. Okay, so we're going to start with reading preferences, rapid fire. So fiction or non-fiction, Laura?
Fiction.
Not Francesca?
Fiction.
Same for me, fiction. Paperback or hardcover, Laura?
None. No audio or ebook. So sorry, I do not read physical books.
Okay, what about you, Fran?
Same like Laura. However, if I had to choose hardcover.
Yeah, I'm a hardcover girly. Okay, so clearly e-reader or physical books. I think I know what Laura's going to say already.
E-reader.
Fran?
E-reader. Although, I mean, no, I prefer audio than ebook anyway. So I would go audiobooks than e-reader.
Well, I'm a physical book girl over e-reader. Now, here's a tough one for you guys then. Ebook or audiobook? You can only pick one, Laura. Ebook or audio?
Audio. We're in the audio era.
Same, audio.
I'm choosing audio too. Now, one book at a time, or do you have multiple books going at a time, Laura?
Multiple. I have 110 books that I'm currently reading on Goodreads. So yes, it's multiple.
What about you, Fran?
You definitely beat me, Laura. It is definitely multiple, but probably like when I have 7 or 8 going at the same time, I feel like I'm doing too much. So 100 is a lot.
You know, I do multiple books, but I kind of like to just finish one story and be done with it and then move on to the next. So I'll start multiple books in the beginning. So multiple in the beginning, but then I'll commit to one and finish, and then I'll go back and commit and finish. So I start with multiple, but I ultimately want to finish one first. Okay.
Yeah, I think for me also it's the format, because there's always got to be at least one ebook and at least one audiobook. So that's the bare minimum. And then it's also about my mood, so I like to have something going that's dark, maybe something going that's light. And then depending how I feel in that moment, that's the one that's getting picked up.
Yeah. I think with formats, I do mix, because I will have an audiobook, which is separate from what I'm reading, because like my brain can separate them, because it's like different storytelling mediums to me. So yeah, no, that's cool. So I guess, Francesca, mood reader and plan TBR, you're clearly mood.
Mood, 100%.
What about you, Laura?
Mood.
Yeah, mood. I can't follow a plan to save my life.
I try.
Yes, I try. And I really do have best intentions, especially when I'm reading for the summer reading guide. I'm like, okay, I want to get through these books, but I will start. And I'm like, no, next. It's just, I can't help it. I really can't.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we eat snacks when we're reading, or you prefer to have just a beverage going? What about you, Laura?
None.
What about you, Francesca?
None.
I need snacks. What is wrong with
I don't drink. It's just, no.
No, I like munchies. Bare minimum a beverage. Like, I wanted to say both. But they know from meeting me in person, I get hangry. I need food. I need food. Okay. Books that are less than 500 pages or books more than 500 pages? Laura?
Less than 500.
What about you, Fran?
Less than 500. I feel like there's very few books that need to be over 500 pages. And most of the books that are over 500 pages, to me, there's just too much fluff that should have been edited out. I have no patience for that.
No patience. Okay, so I have a little notation here. I will say less than 500 pages for most of the year, but over 500 pages during the winter time. Don't ask me why, but late fall going into winter, like I just want that one big chunky book that's going to keep me going for a while. I don't know. I guess it's the mood. I want to commit to something longer term. I don't know, but that's what happens at winter. Okay. Are you more a slow reader or fast reader? I'm fast. What about you, Laura?
So I am a medium size, I guess, because I used to be a fast reader and now I'm slow. So we're just averaging to medium.
Okay. What about you, Fran?
Same like Laura. I used to be a really fast reader. And I've come to terms with the fact that I'm not like that anymore, and I don't want to be like that anymore. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was a process getting to be okay with that, because I used to read so many books. So I'm fine. I'm fine in the medium. Happy medium.
No, I'm fast. The way you know I really love a book is when I slow it down. When I slow it down, I don't want to leave this world. I don't want to leave these characters. And then I really drag on it. And then my husband would be like, "You're still reading that?" I'm like, "Yes, a chapter a day. I don't want to end. I don't want it to end." So yeah, I'm very peculiar. You know I love something when I slow it down. Okay, genres. This is going to be tough for you guys, I think. Romance or thriller? Laura?
Romance.
What about you, Fran?
Romance.
Yeah, I'm going to say thriller. It's like, I can't live without that. Okay, horror or mystery?
Mystery.
Mystery.
I'm a horror. What is wrong? You're teaming up against me like I'm the lone person here. I love a horror. Okay. Classics or contemporary?
Contemporary.
Contemporary.
Yeah, I'm the lone wolf again. Classic. Historical fiction or nonfiction?
Nonfiction.
Historical fiction.
Historical fiction for me. Okay, I got company for the first time. Fantasy or cozy mystery?
Cozy mysteries.
Fantasy.
I have to say both, because I love a cozy mystery. I love the community and the quirky characters and the setting, but I love a fantasy. I love escaping. So I'm going to say both, because I really can't pick. All right, the self-care bit. Are we tea folk or coffee folks?
Well, coffee.
It's both for me. weirdly. Like it really depends on the time of day because I will have both coffee and tea every single day. But if I have to pick one, coffee.
Yeah, I enjoy coffee and tea. I start my day with coffee and then I end with tea, so it's kind of like a wind down. But fun fact, I never consumed coffee a day in my life prior to moving to the US. Never. Never. And then I needed it to survive. I'm like, inject it in my veins. No, seriously, I never had coffee. It was just tea. At most, if I went to a coffee shop, I'd get a mocha or something, but heavier on the chocolate. But yeah, I never had coffee before moving to the States, but now I need it injected in my veins to get through the day. All right, self-care. Do we do yoga or do we go for walks?
Yoga.
Walking. I get more out of walking. Okay, do we read for self-care or would we prefer to journal?
Oh, that's hard. I do journal. I can't. I journal and readings for my anxiety. That's what I look at it.
What about you,
I'm
Francesca?
gonna go with both too. I don't know that I could pick one over the other. Oh,
it is tough, right? And I knew it was going to be hard because we both read and we're both journalers, you know, all three of us. So it's yeah, it's tough. I'm going to say both too. Okay, do we order in for self-care or do we cook?
Order in. Even though Tampa food is not good. It's so the food is not good.
Same for me. If it's self-care, it's getting ordered in. Even, I mean, I try my best with what I'm ordering in because the options here are not the best, but self-care for me, I love to cook, but it's not what I de-stress with. It's more of a necessity and I enjoy it, but no,
Yeah, I'm ordering in too, but the self-care would be baking because I like baking. I like the preciseness of it. And that slows me down. So I actually bake for self-care, not cook. No, I will order in. Okay, do we jam out to music or do we do more art therapy?
Now I'm in a music era, so I would say music.
Yeah, same for me, music.
Hands down, music all the time. Yeah. Okay, are we night owls or early morning people for self-care?
I don't know, because I used to be I have like really clear night routines, but because I have insomnia, it's a mess. So my optimal time is afternoon. That's how you
I'm early morning self-care. I have to do it in the morning before anyone terrorizes me. It's just facts. So I take care of myself in the morning and I feel like the evenings are for everyone else. So I don't really get that alone time, minus if I go to the bathroom and like I'm doing, you know, the things. What about you, Francesca?
So for me, it's both. There is a little bit at night and a little bit early in the morning.
Okay, awesome. Well, I think folks will get a good grasp of us and who we are, hopefully, from this and that kind of thing, from all reading to genre preferences to how we slow down and take care. Because again, I don't like to take myself too seriously, especially when it comes to books and reading and all of that. Yeah, but we have an announcement to make. Francesca, Laura, Fran, how about you announce it? Because I've been doing a lot of the chatting for this one.
Okay, so we have a very exciting new show to bring to you guys, and it's going to be a weekly live video called Noble Nights. And I guess you can think of it this way. We don't really like to leave our house too much, but we still enjoy talking to our bookish friends and talking books. So you can come and hang out with us once a week on live. It's going to be on YouTube, and just come and participate. We'll have fun every single week. We already have a ton of fun activities and topics planned, and you're going to get all of our different points of view, books recommendations, a little bit of bookish tea as well.
Yeah. It's a lot of seasonal content. So if depending on where you are, so we might have some spooky, we might have some holiday reading, we may have some summer reading. So just be ready for seasonal recommendations, which is what Victoria is very well known for.
Yeah, I love living with the seasons. From seasonal reading guides to seasonal living tips. I mean, that's how I live my life. So that's the kind of content I like to share. So I hope you guys will join us. Okay, we're going live every Thursday. We're starting the first Thursday in July. So let me get my actual calendar to tell you. So our first show, actually, no, it's the second Thursday in July. So our first show is going to be July 11th. 2024. Join us on YouTube, because if you don't like leaving your house, except for those rare occasions, I think you will love hanging out with us too, because we don't want to leave our house, but we want to talk with you. So I hope you'll join us. It's going to be a fun time. All righty, everyone. Well, thank you so much for listening. Again, I hope this episode really helped you to get to know us a bit more. And I hope you will join us at Novel Nights. Again, every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And our first show is July 11th. All righty, everyone. Bye.
Bye. See you there.
Thank you so much for listening to the Reader's Couch podcast. Please subscribe to the show, share it with a friend, and take a few seconds to leave a rating and review. Until next time, stay lounging, stay reading, and whenever you're in doubt, go straight to your local bookstore or library. Thanks again for listening, and happy reading.